Hey guys, this is Pharaoh2091 and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Path. Last time we left off, we were still investigating the hidden floor of the Grand Tower, like the storeroom, and we found out a lot of good information, and it seems like the murder definitely occurred right there. And now we are sufficiently done with the investigation up there, we moved on to, well, where the lift would lead us. Sure enough, it's the PIC meeting room. What? Mr. Edgeworth! Yep. This place is... Is this the auction hall? No, it's the meeting room from before. Huh. How nice of you to drop in, Kay Faraday. You've got some guts. Hey, you guys, arrest her! Arrest her! Wait, Kay is... As for the rest of the riffraff, just show them out of the door. Really? Now's not the time. This is tyranny, or tyranny. Yeah, it's tyranny, pal! Miles, this has got a bad... The light of justice shines above me. Yahoo! Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Ripping around. Youch! Why me too? Oh, well, that's strange. I was aiming for that weak ex-prosecutor. You were clearly aiming at me! Maybe something got in my way. Particularly... Yeah! Right around there. Franziska. Just what do you think you're doing here, ex-prosecutor Miles Edgeworth? I do not believe that Kay is the culprit behind this incident. You're just an ordinary man without investigative rights. What you say does not matter. I am Franziska von Karma. I will never stop moving forward. However, you chose to quit. The outcome of our battle has already been decided. I cast away my badge because it became a millstone around my neck. I shall continue moving forward, even without it. The path I walk will surely lead to the truth. My actions are driven by that belief, and that is something which will never change. So, you're saying that you found a path to the truth, then? Then show it to me. But if that path proves to be a foolish one, it will not survive my whip. Oh, great. Here we go. Her logic. The victim used her keycard and entered this room with a culprit. Then the culprit stabbed the victim in the chest with a candelabra, killing her. Shouldn't the latter make it obvious who the culprit is? Of course, the crime scene was right here in this room, the PIC meeting room. The proof is the blood stain we found here in the meeting room. That settles it, Miles Edgeworth. Miss Von Karma seems really confident, doesn't she? Oh, I see. She's a fiery one, isn't she? I don't mind a feisty cutie. It's not about introductory hug! How repulsive. Well, Miles Edgeworth, can you break my logic? If you truly have no intention of stopping there, prove it to me with evidence. Very well. I'll show you, Franziska. The evidence that paves my path. Ah, so it seems like we definitely already have evidence to, say, hey, no, you're wrong. So, ow, something's in my eye. Hold on a minute. That hurt. Victim used her keycard to enter a room with the culprit. Well, see, I don't know about that because, like, what about the actual autopsy report saying that the time was off, or the time seems off anyway, but it says it was used at 12:52. Oh, whatever. I'm just gonna press. We'll see what I can find. This is really bothering my eye. Jeez. Was there nothing suspicious about the security system? The meeting room security is perfect, much like my logic. There's no room for doubt. Your logic isn't as perfect as you think. In any case, your opinion has not changed. Yes, the victim and the culprit entered a room together. I guess by showing the report to the record, I guess it doesn't essentially prove that more than one person entered at the same time, so I guess it doesn't make sense. Stab the victim chest. Okay, that makes sense. What do I say? Well, falsely, possibly, yeah. Do you have anything to confirm the letter was actually sent by Kay? Are you proposing it was forged by the real criminal? That possibility was dismissed some time ago. There were no traces of forgery on that letter. Of course, there were no other traces besides Kay Faraday and the victim found in the letter. Are you saying you found Kay's fingerprints on the letter? The only fingerprints we found belong to the victim. Well, in other words, you can't really say that Kay is the culprit. Didn't I just say that the possibility of a forgery has been dismissed? That letter was originally sent by Kay Faraday. Therefore, it is only natural to assume that she's the culprit. Of course, the crime scene was right here. Proof. Okay, this is the thing I probably need here. Proof is the bloodstain we found. Have we determined who the blood actually belongs to? The blood analysis confirmed that it belonged to the victim. Just because the bloodstain was found here doesn't mean that this was the scene of the crime. You forget, Miles Edgeworth, that in court evidence is everything. If you believe this room is not the crime scene, show me the evidence that proves it. Evidence that shows where the crime took place. It may not be in court, but I'll show her the truth. Miss Carver isn't showing any openings. However, there is one fact that we know that she does not. They're not the only ones who can perform scientific investigations. And therein lies the proof, the path to the truth that I found. So yeah, I guess this goes back to what I said earlier about how the puddle of blood that we found here must have come from the lift. Because, right here, a bloodstain was found in the lift. Blood seems to have dripped down to the floor below. So this means that the bloodstain that we found here came from on top, signifying that the murder happened up there, not in the PSC meeting room like they think. If memory serves me correctly, the blood in the meeting room was found in front of the statue of Lady Justice, was it not? To murder someone before Lady Justice, this culprit knows no fear. I wonder about that. Have a look at this piece of evidence. Blood was found in the storeroom right above the meeting room. As you can see, there are signs that it has dripped down onto the floor below. And right under the hidden lift is the statue of Lady Justice. Then you understand. The murder did not take place here. The killer murdered a victim in the storeroom and then moved the body to this room. What Lady Justice witnessed was a coward trying to conceal their crime, and not the moment of the murder. She's smiling? Pardon me. I just remembered a conversation quite similar to this one. As I expected, Miles Edgeworth. Such naivety it couldn't possibly enact. Just how is Mr. Edgeworth naive? Youch! Have you forgotten, or are you just playing the foolish fool? The amount of blood in the meeting room is clearly greater than in the storeroom. Please don't just hit me and ignore me. Yow! Such a large amount of blood couldn't have simply dripped from the floor above. And even if it had, there should be much more blood left behind the storeroom. The murder could not have occurred anywhere other than in this meeting room. I love how they're mentioning a storeroom and whatnot, but how come none of them are like super surprised that like, hey, an elevator came down from the ceiling, and oh my god, there's a whole nother floor right here, and what is all this? I would think they would have done that by now, but whatever. You're as predictable as always, Francisca. Excuse me. Well, excuse the bringing back there. I'll stop in a second. I hate when this happens. Doors freaking closed and it's still loud as shit. Really, whatever. You're as pretty as always, Francisca. What? The difference is the amount of blood is just as you say. The question is, why does such a difference exist? Well, that issue is trivial. I've already explained it with my perfect logic. In that case, how do you explain the blood that was found in the storeroom? I don't suppose you're going to tell me that it is somehow sprayed all the way up there. Like a water fountain? No way! Exactly. It's impossible. In other words, the reason for the difference in the amount of blood is... The amount of blood in the meeting room and the storeroom are different because... We can't say she was stabbed here, because we know that murder must have occurred on top. Saying that she was stabbed in the storeroom, yeah, we know that, but the blood doesn't account for it. But if you pull a weapon out, you're essentially unplugging a hole that was made from the weapon, which then, will leave a lot of blood. So I would say, yeah, it's because it was pulled here. The victim died of a stab wound. Naturally, there will be a significant amount of blood loss. That's obvious just from looking at the blood stain. Well, that's so weird! She was attacked in the storeroom, but there was less blood found there than... Yeah! Silence, you third-rate prosecutor. But I'm the best! Yeah! Do you know when you lose the most blood after getting stabbed with a sharp object? I know. It's when the sharp object is pulled out, right? Precisely. After being stabbed with a candelabra, the body was moved to the meeting room. And then the murder weapon was pulled out right here in this very room. That would account for the difference in the amount of blood that was left behind. But why would the culprit go through all that trouble? Most likely to give the impression that the murder occurred in the meeting room. It seems Miss Crane's key card was used last night. But based on the time of use, it must have been a ploy by the culprit to mislead us. In all likelihood, it was the culprit who used the key card to enter the meeting room. Why would the culprit have a need to do that? Perhaps they fear that the storeroom would be found out during the investigation. If they were involved in an auction, they would not have wanted to become public. Okay, I guess that makes sense. The auction, you say? Perhaps you should go upstairs and see for yourself what items are on display. I'm sure this will allow you to understand what occurred here. Impressive, Miles Edgeworth. You're willing to go that far to protect her. There's something big lurking behind the scenes of this case. Case simply got caught up in it. You're exaggerating. Am I now? More than anyone, I would think you'd understand the significance behind all this. Why would you, a prosecutor working with Interpol, be involved in a domestic case? Why wasn't your objective to crush a certain international smuggling ring? If your search for smuggled goods had led you here, then isn't this feeling I have related to the case? I'm relieved you haven't lost your touch, even though you've turned in your badge. I've heard about your situation from Scruffy over there. Detective. Sorry, sir. I just wanted to help out somehow. A wise decision, Detective. Francisca, are you the one in charge of this case? Isn't Interpol pursuing a black market auction? And what if I am? That's not something you need to know. So you knew about all this from the very beginning. You knew the black market auction was being held right here. Hey, mind if I butt in? About that gal who turned up dead. You! Hey, I ain't done talking yet. You ain't changed a lick. This case doesn't need even a fragment of your faulty testimony. What are you saying? I'm a bona fide journalist. Ow! Back then, you gave false testimony. Mr. Alcaro seems to really dislike Lada. I can't say she's fond of her. Ain't that Crane gal one of them PIC members? She's a spitting image of the conductor. I reckon she's... Ouch! She hit me again. What is the meaning of this? Answer me, Miles Edgeworth. From Miss Hart's testimony, we obtained a description of what the conductor was wearing, and it matches what the victim, Joe Crane, was wearing. You mean to say the one who was murdered was a conductor? Mr. Ankara, maybe you should calm... Yeah! It would seem that a new fact has been brought to light. Indeed, I came here in pursuit of a black market auction in order to arrest the organizer of the event. In other words, the conductor. If we believe Miss Hart's testimony, then the conductor is already dead. Wouldn't this mean that your investigation has ended in vain? Well, that's right. However, I swear on my name that I will not return empty-handed. I challenge you, Miles Edgeworth. A challenge is fine, but why is she readying her whip like she's out for a victim of her own? Great. Or part 2 of her logic. I'll concede your argument. The murder occurred in the storeroom, correct? That would mean the culprit is someone who participated in the auction. If that photographer is correct, the victim was the conductor, and the culprit was a customer. The culprit waited for the victim in the storeroom, where the goods were delivered. Then, they stabbed the victim in the chest with a candelabra in the storeroom. That is all. I trust you have no objections. Unfortunately, that is not the case, because there's a hole in your testimony. As expected of Mr. Edgeworth, I didn't notice anything at all. Well then, please settle this with one blow. Well, yes, of course. Watch as I crush your logic. Alright. Not really sure what to do just here, but I think I'm probably gonna have to press on some stuff. See your argument. Murder right here. Nothing wrong there, really. Well, yeah. I guess, yeah. Correct. The victim was the conductor. Yeah. Was the victim in the storeroom? Or... Well, I guess, yeah. But let's just press on this real quick. Miss Hart was in the storeroom at the time. Could the culprit really have been waiting there? I don't know where she was hiding, but since you've seen it, you must know as well. There are numerous hiding places in that storeroom. So the culprit was hiding while they waited for the victim to arrive. I believe the crime occurred after the auction ended. After all, the victim was the organizer of the auction, the conductor. During the auction, the organizer would have to be in front of the customers the entire time. After the auction ended, please add that statement to your testimony. I believe the crime occurred after the auction ended. Press on this. The victim was killed after the auction ended. Are you certain of that? The victim was the conductor. That is the only possibility. Without the conductor, the auction couldn't have been held. The auction couldn't have been held. Something seems odd in that testimony. Then they said it. So this obviously has something like, is odd in the statement. Oh, I did it again. But what's so odd about it, though? Wait a minute. And that bird mark thing also is something else I want to know what the hell it is. Actually, it could be from a lit. Well, was it lit though? I mean, could make sense with the bird mark, but it's still odd. What is in her testimony? Black market auctions being held in the Great Tower. Items up for auction. Pieces of evidence from past cases. Other people attended the event. Whoa! Right here. The auction continued even after Jill Crane's murder. So, what did she say? She believes the crime occurred after the auction ended. Not according to a lot of testimony, it didn't. But it makes me wonder, like, okay, she died and the auction still went on, so what, the killer resumed her role or something? I guess it's possible they can just simply have their clothes. Well, that's a lot of work. Whatever. As I thought, you are one step behind. What did you say? The victim was not the conductor, and I have proof. Miss Hart's testimony. That photographer's testimony is not trustworthy. What are you all saying? I'm a bona fide journal. Ow! Cease your idle chatter. Yeah! Weehaw! What the hell? She's getting whipped like no other. Francisco, calm down and listen. Miss Hart witnessed a part of the murder. The main point here is that after witnessing the murder, she says the auction continued. That's right. Sure as can be. They all just kept going on shamelessly. Do you think the auction could have continued without someone conducting it? If the victim was not the conductor, the person killed must have been a customer. No! As I said from the beginning, Kate is not the culprit. After all, she herself was attacked by someone and lost consciousness, in which case, that would also make her a victim. If the auction continued after the incident occurred, yes, and the victim was not the conductor, but a customer, that means the conductor's still around. That's enough! That voice. Of course. Order in the court. The chairman will now enter. My, no need to be so stiff. Actually, feel free to call me Blaise. Wait, that one, because I looked it up. That's how you do say Blaise, and kind of like after a saint as well. But Blaise, there's another E in there now. I'm maybe just a translation error right there. Well then, Blaise, what brings you here? Huh? Well, I just wanted to see if my idiot son was working hard, is all. I really do feel bad for Sebastian now because, well, his father's a douchebag. Is this kind of father-son relationship really healthy? I had come to light a fire under you, but it seems I found an unexpected bonus. To think that the criminal who has become the talk of the town would be here of all places. Everyone, restrain the suspect at once. Please wait. Kay Faraday is not the cult. Silence! Holy crap. This is quite troubling, Edgeworth. Didn't I tell you earlier? The PIC desires a swift resolution to this case. If it's not, we could lose our trust with the public. They call us a waste of time committee. You know, it's troubling for me as well, that sort of thing. And I at my age too. And on top of that, an illegal investigation is not something that I can overlook. Have you forgotten? You are no longer a prosecutor. You have lost all your authority. Furthermore, you have aided a criminal in evading the law. Yes, that's right. You're so reliable, Courtney. I'm aware of the consequences of my actions. You may punish me as you wish. However, we have found a new suspect. It's the person pictured here. Kay Faraday was attacked by this person and... There's no need for your explanation. Just recently, a red raincoat was discovered in the vicinity of this building. The victim's blood and cherry blossom petals were found on the hood. Cherry blossom petals? Now that you mention it, on the viewing platform. Yes, they probably stuck on due to the blood. They were littered around the bloodstain. And we received a forensic report on the blood, you know. There's no doubt about it. The person in that photo is the victim, Jill Crane. What did you say? Oh boy. Impossible! That would have completely destroyed the foundations of our logic. We believe the person in the red raincoat is the culprit. And now it turns the person is actually the murder victim. Wait, if that's the case, then the prime suspect would be Miss Faraday. You met a person in a red raincoat on the rooftop, did you not? Well, yes, I did, but the person in the red raincoat was the murder victim, and Kay Faraday came into the contact with that person. Since one of the parties is now dead, what happens next should be very clear. Kay was attacked by that person. As a victim, it would be impossible for her to be the culprit. There is no evidence she was attacked, is there? Furthermore, we must consider the possibility that the victim fought back. It's far too early to come to that conclusion. Kay is not the criminal. You're wrong. Kay? That's wrong. Even though I don't want to believe it myself. After hearing about the raincoat, I finally remembered. I only remember a little, but from what I saw that night, the culprit is me. I remember looking down at the person in the red raincoat. Mr. Edgeworth, it was me. The culprit was me all along. That can't be right. Then why? Why do I have that memory? The person collapsed before my eyes, engulfed in a pool of blood. Why didn't I do anything? It must have been because I killed her. This is really rough. It is clear to me the validity, or whatever, of Kay Faraday's memory. Didn't you doubt it until just now, pal? Congratulations, Miss Faraday. Your courage will surely allow you to be forgiven. Now, let us rejoice in the blessings of the Goddess of Law. Allow me to give my opinion as an international prosecutor. Her actions as a criminal are... Hurry! Arrest Kay Faraday at once! How dare you behave that way before me? You're being too forceful. Further verification is necessary. I even go so far as to say this is unlawful. Unfortunately, the law does not side with you. It sides with me, you see. But you know, the beautiful bond between you two has been etched deeply into my heart. That reminds me, we seem to have forgotten one additional suspect. Edgeworth, that's you. Okay, thanks for doing that. What's that, pal? Mr. Edgeworth hasn't done anything wrong. I beg to differ. That's right. You see, he's no longer a prosecutor, sadly enough. Your actions have gone too far this time. An illegal investigation and assisting in the escape of a criminal. I cannot even think of you as a formal prosecutor. Now humbly accept your punishment. Ugh. Oh, yes, that's right. I believe the plan for today was to hold your hearing before the PIC. Why don't we leave the hearing for tomorrow? Even though the result is already crystal clear, you should think long and hard about what you've done. Very long and very hard. Court is now adjourned. Apparently it is. So, wow. Of course, I do not believe Kay did it. I mean, obviously, never happens like that. If it ever did happen in an Ace Attorney game, that one of the main characters we know and love did actually commit a murder or something like that, that would be a huge shock. And to my knowledge, it hasn't happened. I mean, definitely hasn't happened in any other games I've played, at least. I'm going through this one still, and never know. And well, I don't know what happens in Dual Destinies, so there's that. So yeah, I guess next time we'll see the consequences of everything that we've done. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutor's Path. I'll see you guys later.